We're going to test the loyalty of our listeners today. I almost don't want to announce it because they're going to be listening for it. But we are finishing up a snack, eating while we're recording our podcast. So,
and having a cup of coffee.
And having a cup of coffee. The cup of coffee's cool, but man,
mine,
smacking into the mic as we're...
I'm not going to do that. I am drinking decaf because it's in the afternoon.
I'm drinking
You're
calf,
drinking
baby.
full calf. You're going to be wide awake. What's new?
Well, we have to record the podcast. I wanted to be sharp, but it'll take a minute for this to kick in. And we've got a meeting, a little couple meeting, and we have Monday Night Football.
And then we have sleep.
So, yeah.
Isn't it funny how different you and I are at sleeping? I have a sign by my bed that says Nap Queen. So just, y'all can just picture. I love to sleep. I love to take a little nap, a little plenty and 20 in the afternoon when at all possible.
Did you get your nap a while ago? I heard your timer go off.
20 minutes.
Did you truly fall asleep?
I sure did.
I was in here writing.
Yes.
Y'all, I can't wait for you to hear about the project I'm working on.
Project,
yes,
quote unquote.
I'm almost complete.
Project. Y'all,
what?
It's going to be, you keep calling it a project and I want to call it what it is, but he has worked so hard on this. I can't wait for y'all to see what it is.
I can't either, but we still have miles to go, but I'm seeing light at the end of the tunnel.
I'm really proud of you.
At least on this part. Entering kind of the next phase, but man, it's exciting.
Can I give a little hint?
No. What? I can edit this out if I want.
My hint is some people go off to a cabin for a few months to do something like this. Is that too big of a hint?
That's a pretty big hint.
And instead, you just come in here and you just crank it out. You just can focus in. And you don't even need as much sleep as me.
Well, I think we all require a lot of sleep. And even if you think you can cheat it,
you're fooling yourself.
There's a lot of things that are not happening, like storing things into long-term memory, taking them from short-term to long-term, logging them in. A lot of things at the cellular level repair in your body. But anyway, it seems as if I don't require as much. I get those 6 hours. So I'm usually going to bed later than you and then getting up earlier than you. And you take your little nap.
This is nothing new, I will say. No. Remember on our honeymoon? On our honeymoon 36
we told that story
years
recently.
ago, well, we're telling it again. I've always just been true to who I am. I don't try to just fake it.
Nope.
So on our honeymoon, we would go to bed. We won't get into that part. But when we would, bright and early in the morning, the sun was rising and Brian Hackney was up and awake.
Up and at him.
Out the door. I'm up, I'm showered, I'm ready, and I'm still just snoozing in the bed.
I don't know about shower, but on our honeymoon. A lot of times you just want to, I don't like getting up and not showering. It's
okay,
gross,
anyway, so he would be up and at him, out the door on our little moped. He would drive to town, go to Burger King, which that's probably the last time we've eaten at Burger King was 36 years ago.
He would go, the Burger King on the Cayman Islands.
It slapped. He would get He would get an egg and cheese.
Now, for you people over the age of 20, slapped means it was good.
So he would get an egg and cheese croissant, bring it home, come to our room, and I'm still just out like a light. And I thought I could get used to this. Yeah. It was the best. And that's what happened every single morning on our honeymoon and every morning since, except for the egg and cheese croissant stopped. Yeah. But thank goodness. I don't think I should do that every morning. Yeah. But literally you're up and at 'em. You go to bed later than me and you wake up earlier than me.
Cold plunge.
You've already gotten up, cold plunged, walked around the neighborhood an hour listening to your
Walked
podcast.
around the neighborhood. That just sounds like I get up and just wander around the neighborhood.
Okay, so he goes for a walk and listens to his podcast, and then he's back, and I wake up smelling his coffee brewing.
Wow.
And then there I go. Okay, so just in case anyone was curious as to our sleeping and waking habits.
And you're worried now
We
because I'm
put
going to
it
have
on-
this coffee, and it is.
Yeah.
What is the half-life of caffeine? I think it's going to be in my system. So you're right. I shouldn't probably be drinking it at 4:20 p.m.
I have a decaf.
But here we go. I know. And there's even some caffeine in decaf. But no, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I'm going to do this. And we got miles to go because I got to work out. I'm going to burn it off.
All right. Let's do this.
So since we don't have a ton of time, we always make the qualifier. It's not just long haul marriage, it's long haul life. Thank you, Marilyn. I'm not going to say her last name.
Hey to Marilyn.
Hey to Marilyn for coming up with.
Can I just say we love you, Marilyn.
Love. Yeah, 3 loves.
Okay, so go into long haul life. 'Cause that was her idea.
Well, we're just going to talk about some stuff today that it's just we would be remiss. I hate that word, but I think I said it last time. But it would be we'd be missing an opportunity to talk about this if we didn't just bring it up right now. Because yesterday, what's that? What's that noise?
It's one of the dogs.
Someone celebrated a 60th birthday.
Woohoo!
So happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, Mr. Long Haul Marriage.
Yeah, and y'all probably realize this after about 5 minutes of listening to this podcast. And like, I really have to tell you that we don't prepare. We don't sit down and take notes. And well, some of the podcasts we do.
Yeah, but you do it intentionally, and I love that.
Yeah.
You want whatever comes out of it because our life is a message.
Well,
and
if you
so
start
we kind
to
of have an
prepare
idea
for a
in them.
podcast, you start talking about it and go, oh, wait, stop. We should roll, because you missed the good stuff. And then you try to recreate it and you're contriving it and it's not coming from the heart
agree.
or it's not off the cuff. Anyway, there's no way I could have prepared for this. So I thought I just want to riff on so many of the things that I was feeling yesterday and that I experienced over this last weekend. And I just thought we could just talk about it.
I would love it.
Would you love that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed a little self-serving, me say, ooh, happy birthday to me.
No.
But it's too late if you missed it. So don't even try to get on Facebook and do the belated stuff.
No, you should.
I've appreciated all of the well-wishing, the happy birthdays, the on time and belated, and even early. I think my dad sent me something in July, and I said, Dad, it's in September. But anyway, thank you, Dad. But he got it yesterday too. And especially, there was lots of cool stuff. The surprise and I think you posted that on social media, so people have probably already seen this, but the surprise, I thought you and I were going off. Speaking of the little cabin in the woods, I thought it was going to be just you and I in Broken Bow, which is my favorite. I was going to thank you that it wasn't, we weren't going to hop a plane and go somewhere, It was not
one thing I realized, can I just interrupt you?
Yeah.
Is that I knew this about you, but it really came out the week before. You were getting a little antsy about not knowing. I was going to try to keep it a surprise, and I could tell you would be more in angst about not knowing what we're doing, how to be prepared, what to watch out for, where are we going, what do I need to know.
Yeah.
You did not love that feeling, and so I thought, you know what, I'm going to put you out of your misery. I'm going to give you a hint.
Yeah.
Which was the whole thing. It was part of it.
Yeah, you said we were
going to a little cabin in the woods.
It was the anxiety of worrying about you trying to pull off some kind of surprise party and a bunch of people. That was giving me anxiety. So, when you said you and I in a cabin in Broken Bow, I was like, yes. Well, then I find out on a FaceTime call 2 days before that our entire family, all the kids and all the grandkids are going to be there.
And they came up with that idea, which I loved because I told them. So we made a text without you on it, and we were hatching out this whole plan. And I said, I'm going to have to tell Dad something because he does not like to not know what we're doing. And so I'm just going to tell him. So I told him that we are going into this little cabin in the woods. And I don't know how to tell him about y'all being there now. And so Chandler texted later and she said, okay, Ryan came up. Hey to Ryan, came up with this great plan. What if we do a FaceTime call Thursday night? Mm-hmm. And that's not unlike us. We randomly will do. You're like, hey, everybody hop on FaceTime. Sometimes it's news. Sometimes it's just, hey, today was Purple Day for Rue at school and she wanted to tell you about it or whatever. So we all hop on FaceTime. And so we did a random FaceTime call. And I loved how they did it. So they were like, we all caught up about everything. And then they said, well, so Dad, are you excited about your birthday? Woo, 60. And are you excited about you and Mom going to, we heard about your trip. She did tell us that y'all are going to Broken Bow to a little cabin.
Christian, have you packed yet?
Did you, Christian was like, hey, have you packed up yet? And you're like, not at all. And I said, no, we have not started packing. And then whoever it was, Chandler, Christian, whoever said, well, you better get to packing because we're already packed up.
So I heard somebody say that, and then they showed one of the little suitcases sitting over in a corner, and it was packed. And I went, no,
we're meeting you down there.
So what a surprise. Mm-hmm. And literally, I could not have dreamed up a more perfect way to celebrate. Mm-hmm. And it was a great place. And we played pickleball, we watched football, we played some basketball, we played with the grandkids and tickled and tackled and, swung and slid and all the things you do. But when we sat around and the kids, gave me their presents and just reading their cards, that is my favorite part, and again, thank you for all the gifts, but the cards and what my own kids and my grandkids are writing me, as anybody out there with kids and grandkids know, when they give you their love written in a card, there's just something really, really special about that. And it hits and it sinks in. And there was something that, I honestly, I didn't anticipate like the big 6-0 being this milestone that everyone else is kind of have pumped it up to be. But I embraced it once it started dawning on me, okay, maybe this is a milestone. I'm still alive. That's pretty incredible.
That's pretty big.
But just 60. And the way, again, that sounds so old. And so I just want to kind of go off on that for a minute. Mm-hmm. The people my age and older are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't have to say this at all. But the people in, we have some listeners in their 20s. Yeah. And we have some in their, late 20s and some in their 30s, some in their 40s. So we have, all those. But you hear and you already know if you're, in your, let's say mid to late 20s, that time flies and you can't believe how, and you hear it and you've started experiencing some of that. And some of you, maybe in your 30s, your young 30s, and you started having kids and you realize like, oh my gosh, your Ruru's now 4 and I can remember she was just born yesterday. And so you've started seeing how it seems like exponentially time starts speeding up the older you get. But the way that you just feel 28 inside, and all of a sudden, I used to say that all the time, 28, I can at least say I feel 38 inside now, being 60. But I don't even know what that means. To say it out loud, though, 60, like that's old. And I'm this old man, but just know this, if you're out there and you're thinking, yeah, Brian, that's old. And you've got this gray hair and that's white beard. You'll know it one day what I'm talking about. You're going to remember back hearing this and think, oh my gosh, he was right. Like there's no way that you're that old. And so the way my sister said, somehow I've frozen you in time. You're still my little brother, or I'm her older brother, but you're that little goofy kid that makes me laugh. And she just pictures me as the kid I was growing up, right? And then there's Chan, who said, Dad, I've frozen you at 48 in time. And, you and I both know that you have the college roommates, right? And when you start hearing from them, you picture them as that college roommate. You don't picture them as the old bald guy with the big belly now. It's so crazy how time has flown. And so because of that, and because it really, I don't think I haven't been doing the math now that 60 has gotten here. You just start looking at your life differently and realizing, man, if you haven't done what you want to do, you better get at it. You ain't getting any younger, and you have no idea how much good health you have left. And so, man, just live and be grateful, be thankful. So first, our health. Thank you, God, for health. The fact that right now, especially after living through pain, physical pain, and of course a lot of emotional pain we all go through, but the fact that we are not hurting right now, that I feel no physical pain in my body, even though I may walk a little funny in the morning. I just thank God for that for all intents and purposes, we feel healthy and we think we're healthy. You never know, but we're grateful for that. Just no meds and no pain. And so we're just so grateful for that. The other thing that I told you, besides the gifts and then the letters from the kids, you reached out and some voluntarily gave you some notes to give me. And if anyone's ever gone through Tres Dias, it was a little palanca that came my way, which is just people expressing their love through a written letter. And those meant the world to me. They meant the world to me. And it was, literal, it was just a joy. Literally, it was a joy to read those and to sit and just allow those to kind of just wash over me. And a lot of times I don't like that attention at birthdays. I don't think anybody does, but I kind of went ahead and allowed myself to sit and go through the little binder that you put them all in, and you assembled them for me in my little notebook, and just allowed myself to receive all the love that people. It's like you're like, really? Is this real? Am I being punked? Do they really mean this? But it was so cool. And I will treasure those. And I just wanted to say to everyone out there who wrote and even those who didn't, but you think about it and you pray for us and you're sending that love. I feel the vibes. And
can I just add in there that if there's anybody that I could not think of everyone to reach out to, it was way bigger of a chore than I thought. And chore sounds bad, but you know what I mean? It grew legs. And so if you have a word from Mr. Hackney, a note, a funny story, a letter, he's not knowing that I'm going to say this, but if you have something that you want to say, it is not too late to send it to me.
Babe.
So you can send it to jamiehhackney@gmail.com.
You know what? Comment on the podcast. Just comment.
Or comment
start
if you
some
want.
comments.
But
or
if you,
send it,
if you,
or don't.
If you
don't
email
have to
me,
do that.
you do not. But if you do, I will print it off and I will add it to his little book of memories forever.
Yeah.
But people were I got to see the part where people would say, oh my goodness, this would be my honor to be able to do this. Let me get you something. So everyone was like so honored to be able to do that for you. And just to read the stories, so many funny ones and just so many that really every single one shared the impact that you had on their life.
Well, most of the time, and I cannot thank you enough, everybody who wrote, but Jamie, you for doing that. I mean, it was so thoughtful, and it was such, I mean, it was, I mean, I'm still riding that high. And you know, those of you who've ever been in the chair in the center of the circle and people have prayed over you or they've shared what you've meant to them. We've all, well, some of us have, but some of us haven't had that. But yeah, and what's sad is usually we save that stuff for memorial services and eulogies, you know, and the person is not there to receive it, right? It's after they're gone. It's at their funeral.
Do you know how many times I was making copies or putting them in the little sheet protectors or rearranging them? I would, you know me, when I'm working, I hum. It's my body's way of, you know, whatever.
That's good. It's a parasympathetic response.
And so I would start singing "In the Living Years," and I would just be, I would start humming it.
Mike
I'm
and
like,
the Mechanics.
Oh
for those,
shoot, is he in the other room hearing me hum this?
The Living Years.
But that's what I thought about every time. I was like, this is the kind of thing that people would write to me to let me know the impact that you had like after you died. And so I was so thankful that I got to hear it while you were still here, and that you got to hear it. While you were
I'm
still,
thankful. There it is. And I mean, I wish everybody would have an opportunity in the living years to receive what I received, and we need to do better at that in our culture. So, I mean, hopefully, if you hadn't ever thought of that, maybe you're inspired to, you know, pull something like that together for one of your loved ones. It was the best gift that I could have ever received, and. So one of the things, and I can't remember, babe, if it was you or in one of my letters. I mean, it was a theme of a couple, but or maybe one of our kids, Chandler or Ryan, who asked about, you know, how it felt, you know, and do you look back and you kind of evaluate and you know, I hadn't really done that more than kind of we always do lately, just looking at our life and our legacy, our family. But one of the things I can say when I started thinking about it, of course, I hope I see 70 and 80 and all that, but there was such a feeling of accomplishment that, you know, you don't want to pat yourself on the back and say, look what we did and we did it. It's like you just feel, thank you, God, you know, for grace, and thank you for navigating my kids when I couldn't, you know, do diddly squat with them, and thank you for parenting them when I sucked at it. And, you know, most, just again, there by the grace of God go I. I was just so thankful, though, that if I had to look at our life and our legacy and look at our kids, look at our grandkids, I'm very grateful. Yes, this is what I would have wanted. This is what I would have wanted to accomplish. And so when you set that goal, you have your values, you have your priorities, and you live according to them for a long time. You know, it's that long walk in the right direction. You know, and life is not a sprint, you know, it's a marathon. And if you're doing that, just before you know it, again, don't blink, before you know it, you look up and you have kids that honor you, that esteem you, that respect you, that want to capture the best of your essence of who you are. And course, and hopefully they've learned to critically think for themselves and to discard the stuff that's not what they want to emulate. They want to be around you. They want you have access to your grandkids because they want to be around you and want to come home to Mimi and Papa. It's just, yes, it's a life that was lived. And again, not to sound like we're not here, but a life lived well. And we want to finish strong. We don't want to blow it. We don't want to screw it up. I remember, you know, as a young man, we went to those Steve Farrar, you know, it was Point Man and then finishing strong and riding for the brand or whatever. He kind of, I think, changed, you know, titles of the book that he re-released every year. That was kind of the same thing. It was great stuff. But I remember he came and spoke to a men's group that I was a part of one time, and he said, "You want to hear my mission statement? You know, when you know your vision for your life and your mission statement." And he said 3 words: "Don't screw up." You know, don't screw up. And you just. when you look around and you see what we have and what we've just been blessed with because we didn't quit and we didn't give up and we really, really tried to correct the things and get on the right path regarding our spiritual lives, our marriage, and just trying to keep sacred the things we value and truly give our time and attention to those things. Mm-hmm. God has blessed us with this just a bountiful harvest. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I'm just so thankful. I'm just so thankful and proud of that.
I am too.
And babe, I mean, again, everybody's going to know soon enough who I attribute the backbone of all of that to. I'm just so thankful and grateful that you didn't quit and that you forgave me over and over and over again. Which, by the way, guys, if you haven't realized this, that's the only reason you stay married is because your wife has a good forgiver.
Makes me think of the text that Ryan sent to us.
Okay. All right.
You think it's okay to read it?
Sure, he's not going to listen to this.
He might. So Ryan is our sweet son in love, and he is married to Chandler, our oldest daughter.
And if you had to design a better husband and father of your grandkids.
Yeah.
Husband for your daughter and father to your grandkids. I mean, Ryan, I couldn't have done any better. Good night.
Amazing. I say kid. He's
lottery jackpot.
Whatever he is, 31 or something, but he's a kid in my eyes. But
he's the best.
Just incredible. We love him. If you need a great haircut, go see him at
third place
in Fort Worth. Okay, so he texted us last night after our weekend together and said, get your reading glasses and your blankie. This is a long one. And I laughed as I looked over at Brian. We were both in our chairs, like the 60-year-old that we are. And I had on my reading glasses and I had my blankie, so I was all ready. So he said, I sent Brian a podcast earlier of Dr. John Deloney, I guess, on the Modern Wisdom podcast, and I think you guys would love it. Near the end, John is talking about the most important thing you can do to get the most ROI out of your life is you have to marry well. Not marry the perfect person, but the one who you can look at and ask confidently, can we pull this thing together? Because two horses can pull anything. I just immediately looked to Chan and started crying. I did more than well. I then immediately was reminded of a thought I had last night when we were all eating cake, trying to give the kids just one bite before bed. It was chaos. But as I sat on the couch facing the kitchen, I had this experience of seeing Chandler as Ruthie and Georgia with their kids. I saw Christian and the thought of Max with his family of hellions. And then I thought, man, I pray that we have this when I turn 60. And we will, because we had two Clydesdales showing us the way. You guys are the example of what happens when you hitch up with the one who has said 1,000 times, let's pull this thing together. Love you guys. Okay, then the tears came and I'm crying again. Mm-hmm. Just such a sweet, I loved that he sent that, and it made me think, and I think this all the time, when you think something about someone, like you just a really cool thought or just something good about someone, send it to them.
Yeah.
Like all the time I think things and I keep them in my head and in my heart. And I think, I have warm fuzzies thinking about this person and not letting them know. And so just that text from Ryan, just all those letters that came in for you, notes from people, it made me realize like the impact that has when you share what's on your heart towards another person. So thank you, Rye.
Yeah. And when you apply that to marriage, what I've realized is there's so many times that we just think things and then we don't express it to our spouse. And what you just said, if you just take that time, when you have that thought, that little nudge, that urge, just, even if it's not for somebody's 60th, just go share it with your spouse. So many times what I've learned recently is when I think something, I come in and share it with you. And you may, the other day, I just remember, maybe it was yesterday, when I said, "Hey, sweetheart," like I thought something and you were walking away and I was leaving the room and I just thought, no, I'm going to say it. And so I just called you back and you go, yeah. And sometimes we'll have to walk back in the same room and it may feel a little awkward. Like, hey, I just wanted to tell you, thank you for doing that. Or, man, you look pretty.
Yeah.
Today I thought we had literally, it was a quick little hug and kiss. You were about to go jump on a Zoom call. And I remember just thinking, man, her blue eyes are so pretty. And then you walked away and I just said, "Hey, sweetheart, your eyes look really pretty." And so it's little things like that that will, and just pay attention to those little urges. Yeah. The little nudge, and just go ahead and express it in the living years. Right. Yeah.
Love it. And I know for some people that think, well, life hasn't always been like great for me, or doesn't it take two to stay married and to create that legacy? And so we don't have time on this podcast to really go, and we've talked about this before, but I think about our lives and all of the detours that they've taken along the way, and how life looked a lot different. Like now it looks a lot different than we thought it might look. And there are some things that, man, still just an ache in our heart, of people who have, losing our son or losing our parents or brothers or sisters, or, the just different things in our marriage that we've had the opportunity to work through. And so, I think we could all look and go, man, there are some things that you wish maybe, could be different about your life, but what have we done with it? We haven't, we don't just stay there. We have said, this is not how our story is going to end, that we will fight to find joy again. And that sounds like an oxymoron, fight to find joy, but it is. It is a daily, you and I figuring out how can we be the healthiest we can mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. How can we stay connected even when life is hard? How can we find our way back home to each other? Yeah.
And you realize when I said finish strong, don't screw up, Steve Farrar's don't screw up. At any point, you could be just screw it all up, right? And so it's not like, okay, look what we've done at 60 and wow, we did it, right? And it's done. You don't want to start coasting. You don't want to quit. You don't want to think that you can just put it on autopilot, because that's when you're sunk. So you got to keeping the main thing, keep your priorities, keep working at those values that you've prioritized, and keep that the highest value. But you can look back and say, okay, I think at some point it just snuck up on us, like, the thing that we've always wanted to build, we've built it, and this is it. And so enjoy that, enjoy the journey, and don't just always be white knuckling it, thinking that there's something else. You can be ambitious, but be ambitious about the right stuff. And man, we're just so grateful.
Happy 60th, old man.
Woo! And here's to 60 more, baby.
We love you and honor you and are so thankful for you.
All right, 120, here I come.